Hello TCG family, welcome to another Two Girls One Up ASMR video. Today I have a new instance, an experimental instance of a video that I would love to share with you, and that it pertains to the showcasing of, that's right, PSA magazines, the hobby ones. So, as many of you are familiar with, PSA company, or the Professional Sports Authenticator, is one of the biggest and probably the largest grading company in the world. There's others like Beckett or CCG or etc., like even Rudy's company now, that offer third-party professional grade authentication of cards. So what does this mean? What does this imply? What is PSA history? And what is inside these two magazines that I'm about to open with you and go through in the video? Stay with me and let's enjoy this sensory adventure together. Alright, TCG family, I hope that you are enjoying a wonderful day and this beautiful month of May. Over here, our temperatures are starting to rise, so we're very excited to be working very soon on the vegetable garden. I am super excited to get that started this year. So, what are your new projects? Let me know in the comments. I'm always curious to know what you are doing with your lives these days. Okay, so coming back to the trading card topic, PSA. Here we have a couple PSA magazines, and the reason of why I got involved, or why I got them in the first place, was because last year around this time PSA announced that they were getting an exclusive One Piece trading card game promo, and that was of Monkey D. Luffy. And of course, looking at the artwork and knowing that it was an exclusive promo, I was instantly hooked. This is what it looks like, and I really just wanted to get the promo itself, so the only way that you could get it is by subscribing to their service. The subscription is around $145 per year, and then every month or every other month you receive a magazine. And some of the, to be honest, I never even opened any of them. I just received them. I knew that the promo is inside, and I was just waiting for the right opportunity to share this with you all. And why don't we get started? And as we open and go through the magazines, I'm going to tell you more about the story or the history of how PSA was founded, some of the scandals it's faced, and lastly, have discussion about, do you like buying graded cards? So, let us start opening these magazines and see what we get inside. Okay, so here we have one promo that I'm going to be talking about pretty soon. And this is the second promo. Alright, my friends, so let us turn these magazines around and then I will show you the promos. This is that first magazine that I told you about that had the Monkey D. Luffy promo. And the illustration in the front is actually super cool. I think that this is actually one of the card images on the TCG, but I am blanking of that. I think that it is, but if it is not, please remind me in the comments. It's just super beautiful. I really love this illustration of Luffy. And of course, we also have to have the feminine counterpart to our good old Luffy, and that is going to be Boa Hancock. And here you can see her is also a beautiful illustration. It's super pretty. Here we have Salome, and here she is in all her voluptuous glory, and she's just wonderful. Like, I love these two magazines. Like, the cover art is just so cool. Okay, so what were the promos for each? This is the first promo. It's a Monkey D. Luffy. It's the black leader. Yep. And here you have the whole crew heading to battle to Onigashima. So yes, they're gonna go and get Kaido. Now, what does it look like outside here? Here we go. So it has a really nice texture, kind of like a radiant foiling here of the rays coming out of the Onigashimas, the skull castle here. That looks super cool. And then on the sides, there we go, the one piece. So it's right here. It looks super cool. I just really like the composition. I thought that it was pretty unique. And here you have all the members of the Straw Hat, including the latest edition, Jinbei. So I really enjoyed this particular illustration, and that's what really prompted me to get the PSA magazine. Now, let's look at the second one. And so this is the one from Boa Hancock. And here we have Boa together with the Salome, the snake. And this is that one scene. So this is another one of the leaders, and it's the blue leader. And this is from that scene where you have the warlords of the sea that were called to fight the Whitebeard pirates when they were coming to rescue Ace. And so you have the Flamingo, you have Mihawk, Kuma, and then Moria. So I really enjoyed this illustration as well, because it represents a very unique stance and very important battle or arc in One Piece. So I really enjoyed it. The foiling is not as cool on this one. It just seems like a very simple foiling, to be honest. And let us take it out. Here you can see it. It's a very simple foiling. There isn't really like specific texture to it compared to the first one. It's just like standard foiling. I'm not sure if I'm such a fan of this one, and there's a really obvious disparity in pricing between both promos. The first one is around 130 on TCG Player. This one is around $70, and I think it may have to do with precisely that. Like, I like the first one a lot better. The foiling is cooler. This one is just very simplistic. So hopefully, if they do additional promotional cards for One Piece, some of this is improved upon. We know that Bandai has incredible foiling and the card design, so I wish that they could have used it more on this particular card. I like the illustration, but the foiling just kind of falls off. All right, so which promotional card do you love the most? Let me know in the comments. I'm really curious to know. All right, let's put this back into their semi-rigid. And this is precisely why you send them when you grade. They already kind of saved us the trouble, because what they do is they cut this side so that they don't damage the card while it is being graded. Okay, yeah, these semi-rigid top loaders. Alrighty, let's see if I'm trying to put back this. It's just going to the sides. There we go, there we go, there we go. So here we have it. It's all good. Alrighty, well, so what is inside of each magazine? I've never really opened one, so I just wanted to share the contents with you. So why don't we read some of the articles? And as I mentioned, this is the Hobby PSA magazine. They obviously have the sports magazine, where they cover what I would assume like the hottest sports cars that they receive, maybe give some population reports, but if I'm not entirely sure. So if you're familiar with it, please let me know in the comments. So what does the Hobby PSA magazine has? Alrighty. Oh, so they're highlighting here a gem mint, the 2024 One Piece Japanese Championship World Final. So this is a Dawn card, and these are actually quite expensive. I think that if you buy them directly from Japan, they are about I think 90,000 yen, which would be around $625 per each of these Dawn cards, and they're super beautiful. I wish that I could have one, but you know, paying almost, you know, $650 for a Dawn card, it's kind of I don't know, maybe I'm not such a huge collector of One Piece as I thought. I like the mangas, but some of these national and international pricing cards can just get to be a little ridiculous. So if you're not like an entirely dedicated collector, there's really no point for you to have these. Alrighty. So here's some information about like the editor-in-chief, some of the editors, associate editors, writers, etc. So what we have here: editor's notes, super collector Ian Hatcher builds a legendary collection, hits from the grading room, what's his final fight, my holy grail, the beauty is in the chase. Well, some people really love that chase. The One Piece is real, the Q&A with Bandai about its treasure TCG. So maybe let's read this one. This looks really fun. Uncovering the truth about top Sun Pokemon cards. Oh, this is interesting too. The playful Pokemon illustrations of Akira Toriyama, and then cover variants. And so here we have like additional graded cards that I assume are being showcased. They do have a number. PSA assigns them a number so that you can go and look into the high resolution scans. Here's another one, an alt art, a Japanese from OP07, so the 500 years into the future. And I'm not sure if you guys remember this. So these are the Top Sun cards, and yeah, uncovering the truth about Top Sun Pokemon cards. So let's read some of that. So before we start going into some of these contents, I just want to ask you guys, do you know like what PSA stands for? And I was doing a little digging into what PSA is, how it was born, and essentially it's a professional sports authenticator. That's the full name of the company. And as the name itself says, it started grading sports cards, and this company was founded around 1991. So that's when it was founded, 1991. And one of the interesting things is that the founder, his name is Gary Hall, he actually owned another grading company that was focused on coins, and that was called that is still called Professional Coin Grading Services. And so these coin grading services, and we have to start thinking about it. So before trading cards or before sports cards, like people were focused on, like, for example, collecting coins, or I don't know, collecting stamps. Those are one of like the biggest hobbies for collecting. And this guy essentially was an avid collector of coins and also sports cards. So during like a 1985 hotel meeting, they decided, he and another person decided to found this professional coin grading service. And from there on, in 1991, that's when he started looking into the sports card authenticating and grading. And so that's why it's called Professional Sports Authenticator. That's where the A comes from. And so why would they start authenticating cards? Well, as you can imagine, of course, there were a lot of fakes being sold at like sports vending events and sports cars vending events. So a lot of people just started, initially they didn't like the whole like grading services or like authenticating services, because some collectors were like, no, I know how a card needs to look like, etc. But the problem just began to grow and grow about fakes being sold at card shows, and people started getting, if you get burned by buying a fake card, then you will seek to have an expert opinion on it. And that's how PSA started growing in popularity. And the other huge thing that happened to PSA was actually what is called the .com bubble. So if you remember, guys, many of us were like kids and were not really familiar with a lot of this, is that the .com bubble essentially put a ton of money into the market, into a lot of companies that were starting to be advertised to sell online. And remember, this is eBay's biggest moments of all time, and this is also when Amazon started. So the PSA boom essentially benefited so much from the .com bubble, because now you had collectors and vendors selling and buying from eBay. And if you were gonna buy, a lot of the times when you buy stuff from eBay, a lot of people can get fakes, and that just increased the problem even more. So that's when PSA started taking off, like super take off, and it just became a boom. And so a few years later they started they introduced their grading service. So now they set up the scale of, like, I think 1 to 10, and that became an international standard, and essentially the standard for all other grading companies that came after PSA. So as I've been showing you, I've been like showcasing, they've been showcasing a lot of these cards. So for example, this Charizard Holo from Pokemon Skyreach, beautiful card. This is a PSA 10 that is like quite rare. It is 2003, and Wizards of the Coast has just completed a momentous run of Pokemon trading card game sets. The 1999 base set cemented the TCG as a cultural icon for decades to come. The Neo series ushered in 100 new Pokédex entries, and the franchise was now experimenting with bold new card designs with the advent of e-reader technology. Oh, very nice. So, but all good things must eventually come to an end. WotC's license to translate and distribute Pokemon cards was expiring soon, and the keys to the kingdom were being handed off to the Pokemon Company International. The sun was setting on a historic era. Oh yes, remember, WotC was the first one who was printing Pokemon cards here in the US because they got the rights. And so the reason of why they did that, well, they were the only established company in the United States to have printers large enough to print first of all, and then distribute these sets. So it was kind of like the Pokemon company was just getting ready, while WotC first of all was taking the risk as to see is there any demand for the Pokemon card game, and they were just getting ready there, experimenting. That was like so smart of them back in the day. Alright, but there was still time for one last hooray. Enter Skyridge. 2003 Skyridge set is the stuff that all great season finales wish to be. Not only did it cap off WotC's stewardship of the Pokemon TCG, it elevated the card game to unseen heights. It was a show-stopping climax, a final bow, a bittersweet parting gift that would resonate with collectors for years to come. There are many who consider it the greatest Pokemon set of all time. And look at this. If you have any Skyridge cards, these are incredible. They're beautiful. They're just like, they have that old Pokemon vibe, and the foiling is really cool. So yes, a lot of collectors chase Skyridge, and of course they chase PSA slabbed Skyridge cards because first of all, they know that they're legit and they can have confidence in the grade itself. Alright, so it is all good and etc. Oh, and here the article continues. Essentially, PSA really introduced like a new system into the hobby, and that new system became the standard. As a collector, you wouldn't really buy a card that isn't real, that isn't authentic. And as a vendor, having a PSA slab gives you certainty and gives you that guarantee that you are selling a legit product. So you can advertise this. There's a lot more movement for authenticated cards and PSA slabs than anything else. So I'm gonna be real with you guys. The PSA slabs are not my favorite, and one of the main reasons, this is such a beautiful promo, holy smokes. Yeah, the box stopper, that is gorgeous. That's a chase right here. Oh yeah, the confetti holofoil pattern. So on top of everything, literally, are box stoppers. While common in sports cards products, these jumbo cards are at an anomaly in the world of Pokemon. Because of this, the ones found inside the sets of the early 2000s now represent highly unique relics. Legendary Collection, Expedition, and Aquapolis all incorporated box stoppers, which measure 126 times 90 millimeters and feature a confetti holofoil pattern. Wow, these are gorgeous. Honestly, I'd never seen these ones before. These are so pretty. Wow. Huh. Oh, that's so cool. And they're all from Skyridge right here. All the box stoppers. Oh, this is so cool. It's just knowing more about the history of the TCG itself. That's really, really cool. Alright. So yeah, my holy grail, the beauty is in the chase, etc. Okay, so I'm gonna be real with you guys that I'm not a fan of the PSA slabs, mostly because the card is not protected inside. If you move the card around, like it's just loose, so you can damage the edges of the cards simply by moving or tossing the slab around. It is something that I've never really enjoyed about PSA cards, and I wish that they could go with, let's say, putting the card inside like a fitted penny sleeve or a fitted sleeve, and then inside the plastic slab. So that's one of my biggest quips with PSA. Now, there are multiple issues that we're going to be talking about, including some of the scandals that PSA has been involved with. So remember, this is a very old company, and when you are reviewing, when you're grading, checking, like reviewing, grading, checking cards, and not just like 100 cards. No, we're talking about like millions of cards a year. There have been real issues with the grading system in the past and also in the present. There have been issues with authenticity of product, and I know that there have been several scandals specifically involving PSA about grading cards that they knew were fake or that they knew were altered in certain way so that they could receive better grades. So of course, a company that is dedicated to grading cards, they will know if you make any cuts or if you make any trims to the card to get a better grade. And there have been a lot of scandals, and you can find them online. I'm not going to be discussing them, but there have been several scandals spanning all PSA's lifespan regarding grading legit cards, grading counterfeits, not only in sports but also in the TCG. For example, there was this big case of a person who sent one of the, what was it? It was an Elsa, an enchanted Elsa from the first chapter. So if you remember, when Lorcana came out, it was like a huge hit. You couldn't find any product. It was so difficult to get. And my main issue with the enchanted system from Ravensburger is that it is so damn easy to counterfeit. And it's one of the reasons of why I don't buy enchanteds online. I know that there's certain things that you can look around, etc. But honestly, if you're just like a casual collector for enchanteds, or if you only get the ones that you open in your boxes, getting to know the real ones is such a pain. It's very, very difficult. And you can just go on Etsy and buy these counterfeit enchanteds for like, $50 or something. So someone essentially bought a bunch of this, and then they sent them to PSA. And so I think it was maybe like one or two. And it came back real. It came back with authenticated, it came back with a number, and it was even like a high grade as well. So that really put a damper on any, confidence that you could have on PSA actually knowing how to detect these counterfeit cards. It's just not good. It just really gives a lot of bad rep. And the last thing that I don't really like about PSA is the grading. A lot of you may have experience, and you can see this everywhere on the internet, on YouTube, etc., of people just sending cards that they think are going to get a 10 that are really well, carefully looked at. And then when they come back, it's just like an 8 or a 9. It's just like some really terrible grade that they were not expecting. So for these kind of issues, it just almost feels like you are depending on the grader's mood. So if they're having a bad day, if they're slammed with works, if your card is like one in the, 1,000 that they need to grade today, they're only going to be looking at this on the microscope for, like 5 seconds, or like looking at it by hand and then just saying, yeah, this looks good enough, it can get a 10 next. Like, that is just such a letdown, and it steers you away from being confident in the grades that you get. So the slab itself, the no protection for the card, all the PSA scandals and their graders not being able to differentiate fakes from real, or trimmed cards, other fakes, like that whole history that they have had as a company is also not very reassuring. And then finally, the grading itself not being consistent. And there's a lot of people on the internet that they send their cards, if they get a 9, they open the slabs and then they send it again in the hopes of getting a 10 or getting a grader with a better mood in the day. So I just find those three factors just being like very detrimental to the confidence for the company. And this is my personal opinion. I'm not trying to steer you away to anything, but this is the information that I have, the experience, and the experience of friends that sent to PSA. So of course there's a huge amount of cards that have been graded by PSA, so they're kind of inevitable in the field. I know that other companies are kind of trying to poke the bear, like particularly Rudy and his grading company, and he's been doing a lot of advertisements for it lately. But we'll see if it will ever get to be as big as PSA. And obviously, like here opening the magazine is just like a really fun like little piece of history for all the cards. And as you were looking at, we had some Pokemon. So now why don't we read this? The One Piece is real. The conversation, the QA with Bandai about its treasured TCG. Riding a wave of collector interest, the One Piece card game has become the second most submitted TCG category at PSA in 2024. Wow, that's crazy, but not surprised. The broad appeal of its source material, combined with jaw-dropping card artwork and gameplay that is fast, thrilling, and easy to learn, has turned into a recipe for smashing success. Bandai Company Ltd., the manufacturer behind this red-hot TCG, has clearly tapped into what has made this franchise beloved for over 25 years, and there seems to be no signs of slowing down. Bandai's latest set, 500 Years in the Future, offers a slew of stunning alternate art cards with a focus on fan-favorite characters from the recent Egghead arc. Hot on its heels is the new 3D 2Y starter deck set to release in August, which will usher in a brand new Black Leader Monkey D. Luffy. Then shortly after that, the next major booster release, Two Legends, debuts with new cards dedicated to pirate legends Edward Newgate and Rayleigh, along with never-before-seen color and character combinations. The artists, designers, and developers of the One Piece card game are clearly fans of the franchise themselves, and it is evident how much love is poured into each release. We spoke with Bandai about its inspirations for card design, surprising fan reactions, and how the company plans to take the card game in the future. Alright, PSA. The One Piece card game is exploding right now. It has been the second most submitted TCG category at PSA for the past several months. Why do you think it struck a chord with so many people? And then from Bandai, we're very grateful that the One Piece card game is loved by many One Piece fans, and that when talking to players, many of them tell us it's their first TCG. When creating the rules and card text, we're paying particular attention to making them easier and simpler. We also pay attention to reproduce the original work through the effects of the cards, and to create illustrations that are easy to associate with the effects. In addition, the feedback from those who have played other TCG has also been positive. The game system requires a lot of thought too, so using done cards is easy to learn regardless of experience, while progressing many things at once to make the card stronger gives players something to think about and deepens the game, allowing it to be enjoyed as a card game. It's based on characters from One Piece, which is popular around the world, so we hope everyone, regardless of the card game experience, can enjoy it. PSA, how do you see the future game evolving? Jesus, I can't read today, my friends. Alright, how do you see the card game evolving in the future? From Bandai, our hope is to have people from around the world, starting with One Piece fans and card game fans, pick up the product and enjoy playing and collecting. To achieve this, we think it is important to make it a card game filled with the atmosphere of the world in One Piece, and have the battles be enjoyable with strategy. PSA, fans are anxiously waiting certain characters, like Goldie Roger, to make their first appearance on a card. What is your process for choosing which characters to withhold, and when does it feel right to give them their debut? Bandai, choosing involves lots of discussions with development team members and game designers. We're being sure to include many characters that would be desired for playing the One Piece card game, but can't just introduce any character we like. We give the most importance to adding the character at the timing that would make the players happiest, and with the best illustration and card text for playing. The development team members will keep sharing opinions on how to deliver the most excitement. PSA: Are there characters that you are surprised to see so many collectors gravitate towards? Bandai: A character that surpassed our expectations with its popularity is Nami. Oh, come on, guys, of course. Didn't you expect that Nami would be popular? Nami is among the top characters for popularity in the One Piece series to start, and especially the card from OP01 Roman's Dawn OP01 016 Nami Altar version, which is this one right here, and it's gorgeous, which has gotten lots of attention from collectors when it was released, and even now, more than a year later, this seems to be thanks to the combination of the character and illustration popularity. Another one that was unexpected was OP01 006 Otama. The card effect makes it strong in play, and when we did a most reliable card poll, which was done worldwide at the same time as the first anniversary, it was voted number 1. Oh, I didn't know that. A special feature of card games is that various characters, from popular ones to lesser known ones, can all gather attention, but we never imagined it would be Otama voted number 1. I think this means we successfully made it a card game-like. From PSA: After a product is released, Bandai issues a survey on its website to get customers' thoughts. What are some of the most surprising findings and feedback you've seen from those survey results? From Bandai: Among the comments, there are also always many requests for characters they want to join the game. Seeing this every time makes me realize there are as many beloved characters in One Piece as there are fans of the series, and I am aware of how great the story called One Piece has become. PSA: In my opinion, the SP cards from OP05 Awakening of the New Era are some of the most beautiful TCG cards in the world. What is your process for ushering in new, unique designs like this? Does the concept come first, or is it all based on the type of work you receive from the artist? That varies from time to time, but depends on who is thinking it up. But for example, OP05's SP cards started with the idea to give them a beautiful design, and we decided on the fine gold foil processing for the background. We also consider our plans to join many expos and conventions, some of which are English-speaking countries where we hear Japanese illustrations are popular. Based on this, we were eager to try using a Japanese background in card illustrations for cards in One Piece card game, which led to our decision to pair this with fine gold foil processing. We get inspiration from our daily lives when thinking up designs, but generally start from a concept. From PSA: One Piece cards have impeccable print quality. The centering, the surface, and the edges feel superior compared to many other TCGs. Could you share a little about how you ensure this high level of quality? From Bandai: Bandai has a very high level designated quality test team that inspects all products, including the card games. The strict quality test standards are performed every day to ensure high product quality, and are also set to even higher standards than those accepted around the world. We at Bandai want to be confident in the card games and toys that we are responsible for providing to people around the world. Well, please tell them to take care of those edges from One Piece, because they can be pretty terrible. Alright, that is my complaining moment. And oh my gosh, this is the Boa Hancock manga, which I never really got to have, but hopefully one day we'll be able to get it. The illustration is okay. I think that they could have done better, but overall is not bad. Alright, from PSA: OP07 500 Years in the Future is the newest One Piece set. What things should players and collectors be most excited for when they open their first box? From Bandai: OP07 will include cards to strengthen existing characters, such as those belonging to CP0, Supernovas, the Seven Warlords of the Sea, and Revolutionary Army, in addition to new characters such as members of the Foxy Pirates and those appearing in the latest chapters, the Egghead arc, like Dr. Vegapunk. In particular, the leader card Dr. Vegapunk will be yellow, have 2 life, and will be an extremely unique leader that seemed to be gathering attention even before its release. Also, the first lady to become a manga alt art card will be Boa Hancock. She is also among the top characters in popularity, so we hope everyone will enjoy getting that card. Yes, and here she is. From PSA: There are many One Piece collectors who have not played the game yet. What exciting things are they missing out on? I guess that they're talking about me, guys, right here. Alright, so from Bandai: It may be a bit difficult to imagine what a card game is for some, but battling together with a character you like through the card game can be quite fun, especially when it comes to thinking of the card effect text like Gear 5 Luffy, which, like in the series, can do anything it wants. Another example is OPO7's leader card of Jewelry Bonnie, which has the effect that can stop the opponent from attacking like she does using her Devil Fruit ability. Oh, that is so much fun. I didn't know that. So we try to make the card tags something unique to the character and that fits what they can do in the series. Playing the card game can feel like you've dived into World of One Piece, so we hope everyone will try and have fun. Oh, that is very neat. Alright, from PSA, are there any sneak previews, new characters, or new card types you're willing to share with us? And from Bandai, One Piece card game's second anniversary is coming up this year. We have lots of fun things planned in addition to the World Championship for events and products, so we hope everyone will look forward to it. Nice. So this was a fun interview with Bandai. How did you like it, my friends? Alright, here's some Top Sun Pokemon cards. I know that I'm not gonna be reading this whole thing, but maybe for another time we can make like a more specialized segment in our channel where we read some of these articles, we make them as a one shot. This one is very long, so there's a lot of information on this one, and maybe we can make it something like a live. Oh, these are gorgeous. They're so pretty. Yeah, we can make them something like alive, or just like story time, something like that. So we can do something like this. And so Akira Komayama, did I say Akira Toriyama in the other ones? I'm not sure. Well, definitely not Toriyama, Komayama. And these are super cool. These cards, I highly suggest that if you don't have them, to get them. And this is one of the ones that I unfortunately have missed out and that are probably like stupid expensive right now. But these XY, the Radiant collection, these are super cool. And I can see these growing a lot in the following years if they haven't done so already. I'm going to be looking at that as I edit this video, or ask Nyx as she edits the video. And so this is the Miriam illustration. So this is another great pick right now because it is quite cheap. So if you can, pick up some copies because I feel like these cards are gonna go up in value here. If not already done, then pretty soon. And this Pichu is so beautiful. I love this one. So I did have a lot of copies from this because I just love the illustration. And then this one, of course, is another beautiful card that highly recommended that you get a copy. But I know that this one unfortunately has gone up a lot in price. So wow. And these are cover variants. We got the vase one. There was also the purple cracked eyes. Oh, that is cool. And then there's the black cracked eyes. Oh man, so we only got the base. Alrighty, but at least maybe this is the... Oh, we'll see if we got the variant here, or maybe this is the base. But yeah, some people receive either of these other variants. And we got the base one, which honestly is not bad. I like the blue better because it really combines with the rest of the illustration. The black would have been good. The purple I'm not a fan of, but black would have been awesome. Alright, now let's quickly go through this one. So this is the latest one. I think I received maybe one more after this. And honestly, if we think about the cost of the membership to get these two promos, the first promo is around 130. The second promo is around 70. So let's say it's $200. We made it above what we invested in the membership, and we also got a ton of cards. And here we have the latest Trafalgar Law Manga Altar that we actually pulled from a pack at our local game store. So that was a lot of fun. Alrighty, and then this other one piece Whitebeard, we also pulled this card, so of course we don't have it graded, but it's good to see that it's one of the ones being featured in the magazine. Here's another one. Oh, interesting, the Da Vinci card. So, oh, but it's one of the serialized ones. I see. It's right here. We did pull a Da Vinci, but not a serialized. Alright, so here we have more 2000s Yu-Gi-Oh! Japan. Oh, Dark Magician Girl promo. Oh man, that is so cool. Alrighty, what do we have here? Zoroark, another promo, 4th grade winner. Oh, that is so cool. Holy smokes. In 2010, Shokugan magazines held a design contest in which readers could submit original artwork using a template of the Pokemon Zorua or Zoroark. 10 artists won, receiving 200 cards featuring their submitted artwork. Man, that is another grail right here. Alright. Oh yeah, you can consign up your slabs to PSA. You can consign, no packing, no shipping, no stress. How it works: hand your graded cards to an official rep for free transfer to your PSA vault. Your cards are deposited into your PSA vault, fully insured and ready to manage online. List instantly on eBay through 7-day auctions or buy it now, no extra effort needed. Very interesting. Oh, and here we have, yeah, the journey together. And here's Lily, and then Lily's Clefairy. So this is back when we hadn't received the English version, and oh my god, I'm so excited. Coming soon. Right here, Gundam. Yes, beta edition here, alt art. Oh my gosh. I wish that we could have gotten into the beta events. Unfortunately, like, they sold out immediately. It was instant. We were right there when they dropped and it was just out of stock. So, well, we'll see. We're definitely gonna be playing this card because the illustrations are so beautiful. This July, Bandai is scheduled to release its new Gundam card game based on the legendary Japanese anime about giant robotic mechs. Until then, we are loving these early alt arts, which were available in beta edition boxes. Oh man, that's what I would love to get, a beta edition box. And of course, the illustrator Pikachu's. This recently graded copy of perhaps the most prominent Pokemon card ever joins the pantheon of the other PSA graded examples and is now among some of the very best. Only 15 have achieved a mint 9 grade to date. That is crazy. Whoa. That's super crazy. Alrighty, so what do we have here? Gym Class Heroes, the ultimate guide to Pokemon trainers. Oh, that's neat. So it's a lot of text, but here's like, because of everything, the Journey Together. So this is right before Journey Together was released. You have Blaine's Charizard, Erica's Dragonair, so with the faces that they reintroduced in Journey Together. Oh, Cynthia, which is one of my favorites. I love her as Cynthia, like Garchomp B. Here we have her. Here we have trainers. Here's Giovanni. The Team Rocket. Oh my god, this is such a beautiful card. I hadn't seen it before. So it's a Japanese XY promo, Team Rocket special case. That is so neat. Wow. Okay, to celebrate these villains, Pokemon released a Japanese exclusive product in 2017 known as the Team Rocket Special Case. This product came sealed in a Team Rocket inspired briefcase and included 2 full art promo cards, Giovanni's Scheme and Team Rocket. Giovanni's Scheme shows the Team Rocket boss appearing sinister as ever, alongside his faithful Persian, while the latter shows TV series stars Jesse James and Meowth. Oh, that is super cool. I love this. These are so neat. Alright, what do we have here? Rayquaza V, yeah, from Xenia and Rayquaza. Very cool. So Lily, yes, and her Clefairy. And then with Solgaleo and Lunala as well. This is such a beautiful card. And unfortunately, these GX cards have just exploded. So for those of us who came to the hobby a little late, Yeah, these GXs are kind of unattainable right now unless you really want to dish a lot of money. Same with these EX cards like Groudon and Kyogre. These are beautiful, beautiful illustrations, and I know that recently TCG Player showcased both of this into the cards that spiked. Here we have other ones, the 20th anniversary cards, and here's Red and Pikachu, or Ash Ketchum and Pikachu. This is a Cosmic Eclipse rare, so this is also another beautiful card to still affordable, so if you want to get it, you can so now. Then this My Holy Grail, so this is another one where a person just got their Holy Grail. Spider-Man character auto super 1 of 1. That's crazy. Yeah, Topps Chrome Marvel. Wow. Now let's see. Shifting into Gear 2. Yeah, PSA and Bandai Chat One Piece, the brand new OP10 set, and more. So it seems like they've been, obviously, since this is a One Piece cover art, that they're discussing the newest set, which is OP10. And I really like, now more than 2 years old, the One Piece card game shows no signs of slowing down. It strikes a balance between playability and collectability, an addictive game that is easy to pick up and play, while its inclusion of manga rares and other chase cards creates instant grails. Since its 2022 launch, it remains the second most graded TCG at PSA, second only to Pokemon. Wow, that is insane. With so much to dive in, PSA caught up with Bandai to dish about their latest endeavors, as well as the journey still waiting on the horizon. So from PSA, and we're not going to read the whole thing. To start, we're excited to let you know that PSA Magazine recently named One Piece Emperors in the New World the best TCG set of 2024. How does that make you feel? Bandai, thank you for sharing that. It's an honor. It is One Piece card game's second anniversary booster, so we put a lot of extra work into it, including characters like Goldie Roger and the new 4 Emperors in the lineup, as well as outdoing the current rarities with the Gold Super Parallel. So the team is proud of our work. We'll keep doing our best with releases as well. Let's see. PSA Magazine also named the OP09 Goldie Roger Manga Rare card the single best TCG card of the year. This is a character fans have been excited to see on a card for a while. Why was OP09 the right time to finally make his debut? Bandai, we wanted a big surprise for the players and decided Goldie Roger's debut would be good for that. We also wanted the card to have an overwhelming impact, so we made it the first 10 cost 13,000 power card and included the special win condition in the text. It's a card we gave particular attention to. We look forward to being able to celebrate our 3rd, 5th, 10th anniversary, so we plan to keep including such surprises for any commemoration boosters we are able to make. Man, these are so cool. Oh yes, these are the Gold Super Parallel, and so this is for the Divine Departure, I think. Oh, these are so neat. And poor kid, like when he got ultimately destroyed by that. We also were able to pull this one, so I'm super excited. And then, of course, Usopp. Alright. This month, the new One Piece set, Royal Blood, releases. When you work with the artists on this set, did you give them any specific direction or inspiration to follow? OP10 has a few themes like Supernovas, Dressrosa, and Punk Hazard. This time I think the illustrations are a bit different than usual, particularly for Punk Hazard characters, since a big part of it was Law using his ability to swap the minds and bodies of characters. Among the cards, the leader cards, including the altar versions, are all drawn by animators involved in making One Piece. Whoa, I didn't know that. Okay. Which fans will not want to miss. Also, Shanks' ability Divine Departure is included as an event card with an altar version that uses a special design red stamp. Given that it is one of Shanks' strong attacks and gets a lot of attention from fans, we wanted to make sure the card is special too. This sparked the team discussing it and decided on the color foil and on choosing red, Shanks' color. Alright, And when it comes to designing new set like OP10, do you first assign a lineup of characters to your artist, or do you build the set around the illustrations that your artists have already provided? Which comes first? I think that's an interesting question. So from Bandai, when developing a new booster or deck, we decide on the characters first. Then we simultaneously proceed with choosing the card effects and assigning character illustration work to artists. We ensure that the atmosphere of the illustrations and its effects match. Oh, so this is very interesting. What they're telling us is that they first designed the set based around the characters, so based around a particular topic. So in this case, OP10 was Supernova, Dressrosa, and also Punk Hazard. So they decide which characters are gonna go in, and then the game designers for the playability, then they come in. That's really, really interesting. Alrighty, oh, here we have a body swapped Tashigi with Smoker's body. Alright, let's see. Let's talk about this. Let's read this. PSA. In our July 2024 issue of PSA magazine, we included a PSA exclusive One Piece promo card for the very first time. This month we have a second exclusive promo based on Boa Hancock. How did these cards come together? What steps needed to happen to bring these cards to life? From Bandai, to create the second PSA exclusive promo card, we started off with choosing a suitable popular character. As developers, our desire is for it to be a card which will be easy to use as well. Once the character is decided, we think of its composition and the scene. We wanted to put multiple characters on it, and when we thought of Hancock's iconic scenes, we thought of the Paramount War and the Seven Warlords of the Sea. Yes. Upon considering such ideas, we finalized the composition. This card is a personal favorite since it is the first time we have the Seven Warlords, such as Doflamingo, featured together. That is very true. We haven't really seen that in the game before. Alright, what other One Piece card game products are you excited to introduce in 2025? Bandai, there is a lot I cannot answer at this time, but we are preparing a huge surprise for One Piece card game players for 2025 as well. Obviously, we have surprises associated with the products too. It is truly frustrating that I cannot spoil it yet, but I am certain we will please fans, so it will be great if everyone continues watching for One Piece card game updates. That is so cool. Alright, putting her John Hancock on Boa Hancock. I assume is the voice actor. Okay, she is Boa Hancock. All right, I'm okay without reading this. And then signed by Stan, A Guide to Stanley Autograph Cards by Justin Underwood. I'm not sure if I ever got to tell you this, guys, but I got to meet Stanley at one of the New York Comic Cons, so that was really interesting. He said that he liked my outfit. I was dressed as like a super cyberpunk dancer, so that was really interesting. Alrighty, so here's like additionals like autographs and etc. So they do certify or authenticate these autographs, and so they're now doing a Stanley special article. Alright, what about this? So these are Funkos. I'm not sure about you guys if you like Funko figures. I think that they're okay. We do own a bunch, mostly Pokemon, because they're just like easy to buy and easy to just display. But I'm not sure about you guys if you like collecting the Funkos, or if you have a big collection of Funkos, and what would this be? Alright, and here we have, the Eevee, the Munch Eevee. I also came a little bit too late to actually get these promos, and then the Screaming Pikachu. I would have loved to get a copy of each one of these. And the Gardevoir and Sylveon is also another beautiful illustration, similar to what we've been talking about. All the GXs have exploded in value, so unfortunately I've decided not to pursue this, otherwise it would be like a huge investment right now. And I know that there's other TCGs that are coming out that are going to be hugely valuable in the future, particularly Final Fantasy Universes Beyond from Magic the Gathering. So we're going to be opening that product here, and I'm not going to spoil what we'll be opening, but it will be, of course, like the top of the line on collectability wise. We still don't know what's coming in Final Fantasy, but I'm hearing rumors that it's going to be just absolutely amazing. All right, so cover variants for Boa. Oh man, we also got the base cover again, which is the purple, which I enjoy because it is the nice combination with her dress, so I think that that's appropriate. And then here we have the variant cover that is black and cracked eyes, so that's also that it's actually really beautiful too because of the black in her hair, so it also keeps the composition quite beautifully. So of course I would have loved to receive this one, but you know, sometimes you get lucky, sometimes you don't, and in this case we just got the two bases, so I am okay with that. Having them, I think, is just what counts, and we'll see a few years from now if these are going to be sought after, valuable, who knows. Similar with these promos, I'm just very happy with receiving them and being able to add them to my collection. And definitely I will ask the One Piece Bandai team to do better foiling for the next promos, similar to what they did for the first one, like add some really cool effect. So I'm just excited to receive these. And please guys, let me know in the comments, do you buy graded cards? Do you like graded cards? And among all the graders that are out there, do you prefer PSA? Do you prefer Beckett? Do you prefer other options? Let me know in the comments. It's always good to know where the opinions of collectors are out there, and also of players. So let me know in the comments. I'm super interested in striking this conversation. I'm very happy that we got to share this time together with and going over these PSA magazines, so that you get an idea of what is covered inside one of each, and what else you can expect to have. Like I wasn't sure that the Holy Grail was like a permanent section, but it makes sense. Some of these cards are extremely rare, so it's really fun to see the stories of whoever wanted to get those grails, and also the interviews with Bandai. Like I really enjoy those because it's like additional like outreach that they do. And obviously with the promos, I think that that's like a really great thing to do. It made a lot of people get a subscription to PSA, and I know that mine recently renewed, so I am excited to see what other promos come in the future, including the recently announced Street Fighter promos. So there's gonna be like certain gacha element to them. You could get promos that are like gold, like more rare, like rarer versions, etc. So we're gonna be showing you some of those when we receive them. And of course, showing you more PSA magazines, because I have a bunch over there that I haven't opened, so including some Pokemons, like there's a really cute Rayquaza one, and in addition to other ones. So thank you so much for watching, TCG fam. I hope that you enjoyed this video, and we will see you on the next one.